All right, guys, we are back for the Group 4 Top Eliminator 2025 New Year's National. So we got all of our cars up here. We got 15 cars in this group. So first up in the right lane, we're going to be the V Gaines Pro Stock Saburo Watanabe out of Colorado. Going to be running in that right lane. Up against Gone Polstol, Kevin Stalker. So I think he was our winner from Group 3. So he's got another car in Group 4. It's like a Viper modified. This is seating.
Kevin Stalker goes 530 with a 3. Sabu goes 828.9.
Next up, in the right lane, we got 01 Darryl Maw out of Utah. Gonna be in that right lane. Up against Clark Sr. Yellow Funny Car, so one of our semi-finalists from last round. Looks like a Viper Funny Car up against Viper Modified. This is seating.
Clark Gaynor goes 485.5. Darryl Maw goes 434.2.
Oh, both those guys running in that 400 index. All right, next up, we got Ronald Mullins out of Colorado. Looks like a Viper with the 4-gear conversion kit. Up against the Kakalaki Crusader, Cliff Ward out of North Carolina. Looks like a Viper Funny Car.
Cliff Ward goes 530 with a 9. Ronald Mullins goes 770 with an 8.
Next up, we got Gramps Snake, Dana Morley out of Utah. Going to be running this Viper car in the right lane. Up against Wonder Wagon, Jeff Clausen out of Minnesota. Looks like a hopped up 4-gear. Has some pretty thumpy mags in it. That car could jump out of the slot, but depends on how much horsepower it's got.
Jeff Clausen goes 122 with a 4. Dana Morley goes 590 with a 3.
All right, so it doesn't look like those super strong magnets helped out the Wonder Wagon, so that thing definitely needs more horsepower or less magnet. So just a little tech tip there. Moving on to the right side of the ladder, we got the CBSC Anglia Tom Mathey out of Florida. Looks like it is a dash chassis with a can motor. Pretty slick. Up against Ronald Mullins out of Colorado. So it looks like Ronald has cars on both sides of the ladder. Wicked looking Willys. Probably a 41. But it is a 4-gear, so don't expect any hot laps out of it.
Ronald Mullins goes 136.17.
That 130 or 939 was all top end. Did you see it? It's like it hit high gear, half track, and was out of there. You can see 45 mile an hour, so that is big mile an hour for that slow of a time, yeah. All right, next up, we got the White Knight Stacy Brock out of North Carolina in the right lane. Nice, clean Auto World 4-gear. Up against Pete's Auto Clinic Sonic Turbo Special, William Ramirez out of New Jersey. Is a T-Jet based car. Let's see how fast that baby runs. That name is a mouthful. All right.
Pete's Auto Clinic Sonic Turbo Special. William Ramirez goes 271.08, and Stacy Brock goes 113.37.
2.7 seconds. So just a little side note there. Both John and I have driven sand dragsters that will do a football field in 2.7 seconds, just for reference there. So next up, we got the Vapor Vet Gale Sharp out of Washington, going to be running in the right lane. This looks like a Viper modified. Pretty nice setup. Pretty strong mags. Up against a killer Don Garlett's Funny Car by Stuart Barber. This car is also entered to run in Top Fuel 4-gear. So first time seeing either of these cars. Get them staged up there. This car's got some pretty strong mags in them. Sucking them down to the track.
Well, Stuart Barber goes 550 with an 8. Gale Sharp goes 537.9.
Wow, I think that might have been the fastest 4-gear that's ever run down our track. So that car is a ripper. Great job, Stuart Barber. Not only does it look killer, but it runs good. Gale Sharp, your car looked awesome and ran great too. So next up, Pure Hell by Neil Allen Bicek out of South Dakota. The Mean Green chassis. So I believe that's a dash chassis, but so he will be getting a bye in first round.
Neil runs a 9010.
All right, so we are going to get the tires cleaned up on these guys. So a lot of great runs, really cool cars in this round. We'll be back for second round of seeding. All right, guys, we're back. Group 4, seeding 2. We're going to start off with V-Gains Pro Stock, going to be running in the left lane this time. Owned by Saburo Watanabe up against Gone Postal. Kevin Stocker going to be running in the right lane. Track is ready. Cars are ready. They're staged. Drivers on green.
Sabu goes 771 with a 1. Kevin Stocker goes 519.0.
Next up, Darryl Maw, 0-1, going to be in the left lane this time. Ran a 434 last pass. Up against Clark's Senior's yellow funny car in the right lane, who ran a 485 last pass. Quite a bit different combo. So we got a track combo that has modified against the funny car.
Darryl Maw goes 429 with a 7. Clark Gaynor goes 487.7.
Great job, guys. Make sure you're using the log sheet to keep track of your times for each car. They are available on the website, free download. Next up in the left lane, Ronald Mullins ran a 770 last pass. Up against the Kakalaki Crusader, Cliff Ward running a 530 last hit. So he's going to be looking to pick up a little bit on that car. But that definitely is a respectable run.
Ronald Mullins goes 734 with a 6. And Cliff Ward goes 529.7.
So next up, we got Gramps Snake. Dana Morley, left lane, ran a 590 last time. So he's going to be looking for a little bit more out of that car. Up against the Wonder Wagon, Jeff Clausen out of Minnesota, running a 1.2. So this is the Mega Magnet 4-gear. We do have 5.5 ohm arms for those cars if you want to wake up your 4 gears. Here we go.
Dana Morley goes 596 with a 2. Jeff Clausen goes 121.33.
Next up, we got the CBSC Anglia, Tom Mathey out of Florida. Going to be in the left lane. Last time ran a 939. This car runs big speed on the top end. Up against Ronald Mullins in the right lane, running a 1.3. So he's going to be looking to pick up a little bit there. Let's see if that car, that Anglia, can get the power down all the way through the run. Oh, it was bouncing.
Tom Mathey goes 107.47. Ronald Mullins goes 142.93.
That car definitely could use a wheelie bar. It was bouncing around, arcing out those pickups. So that is the benefit of the wheelie bar, guys, for those that don't know. Next up, we got the White Knight, Stacy Brock, running in the left lane this time. Ran a 113 last pass up against the up against Pete's Auto Clinic, Sonic Turbo Special. William Ramirez looking to pick up about 1.2 seconds on his last pass. It could have been stuck in first gear last run, so we'll see if he can grab those gears and slam that thing down on through there.
Stacy Brock goes 111.76. William Ramirez goes 259.15.
That was a really lethal run by White Knight right there. So he ran a 113 and a 111. So those are really great runs. Next up, the Vapor Vet, Gale Sharp in the left lane, ran a 537 last pass with the Viper modified. Running up against Stuart Barber's Don Garlett's funny car out of Kansas, ran a 550. This is a wicked 4-gear. Let's see, make sure that we get that pin in there. So that guide pin barely is registering in the slot. So that car does have a wheelie bar, but that guide pin could be about 50 to 60 thou longer just for safety. Here we go.
Gale Sharp goes 514 with a 5. Stuart Barber goes 535-2.
Last car of seating here, we got Pure Hell by Neil Allen Bicek. Ran a 901 last time. Let's see if he can keep it in the 9s. If he goes 8s, he's going to need to go deep in the 8s.
Neil goes 912 with a 7.
All right, it stayed there. So that is a great running 3-gear. That is a dash 3-gear. So that gets them set, guys. So we're going to go through, get the tires clean. We'll be back for first round of Group 4. We are back for round 1, Group 4 Top Eliminator 2025 New Year's Nationals. Thanks for tuning in. If you got a horse in this race, you're going to be watching first round right now. So first up in the right lane, we got the V Gaines Pro Stock Saburo Watanabe. So V Gaines is kind of an old school guy. He used to run Kendall Oil sponsored car. It's always fun to see that up against Don Postal. Kevin Stalker is going to be running in the 500 index left lane. So we got a 500 index versus looks like a 0.7. So that V Gaines car looking to run low in the 0.7s in order to take out Kevin Stalker. Here we go.
Kevin Stalker wins with a 511.
Man, that is tough to beat. So next up, we got Darryl Maw in the right lane running in the 400 index. Going to be running up against Clark Sr.'s yellow funny car, also running in the 400 index. So this will be a heads-up race. Both running in the bottom of our index classes. So 0.400 is the fastest you can run without breaking out.
Darryl Maw with the win, 434-4.
434. Like Clark's car might have slowed. No, it didn't slow down. It sped up, but it just wasn't enough. Great job to Darryl. So next up is Ronald Mullins running in the 700 index, right lane. Going to be running up against the Kakalaki Crusader, Cliff Ward out of North Carolina, running in the 500 index. So got about a 2/10 head start. New school funny car versus old school funny car. Who is going to get it at the stripe?
Left lane, Cliff Ward wins with a 524-5.
Great pass. Unfortunately for Ronald, he is going home first round. So next up, Wonder Wagon, Jeff Clausen running the 1-2 index in the right lane. With that Wonder Wagon running up against Gramps Snake, Dana Morley running a 500 index. Barely in the 5s with that car, so that car could probably use half a tenth to be a little more competitive, but let's see what we got.
Left lane wins it with a 602.
Ooh, breakout, huh?
Breakout in the right lane.
Right lane breaks out, so Dana moving on. Moves on due to breakout. So bummer for Jeff, your car broke out, so make sure you are keeping track of those numbers. Next up, we got the CBSC Anglia. Tom Mathey ran in the 9s, and then he ran a 107. So that car, not super consistent, but he's going to be wanting to run a 9 this time out. Running up against Ronald Mullins with the Willies, run at 1-3. So looking like a 4/10 spread.
Whoa, breakout.
Oh, man.
Left lane, Ronald Mullins wins with a 150.
Wow, 150. And that other car broke out by what, 7 thousandths?
Yeah,
6,400ths breakout. Bummer. So yeah, guys, make sure before you send cars, if you do have something to run them on, just make sure they're at least running consistent, because that is key with this kind of racing. So next up, Stacy Brock, right lane, running 1-1. This is a very consistent 4-gear running up against the Pete's Auto Clinic Sonic Turbo Special by William Ramirez out of Jersey. That is a T-Jet based car. Pretty cool looking car. He's going to need a big pickup this time around to beat that white funny car.
All right, winner Stacy Brock with a 1:15.85.
Real consistent there. So just a real quick note, guys. The slowest bracket is a 1.5. So if the car is slower, it's still going to be running in the 1.5 bracket. So you do want to make sure that you have a car that at least runs that fast. Otherwise, you could be going down pretty early like that. So next up, Gale Sharp in the right lane, 500 index. He is going to be running up against Stuart Barber's Don Garlett's funny car. This is going to be a heads up 500 round. Anything can happen. We've seen it before. Cars jump out of the slot. Cars wheelie. It's anyone's race.
Stuart Barber with the win, 5:21 with a 7.
Wow. That was surprising. So it drove around him. That was a great pass by Stuart Barber's Don Garlett's car. The Vapor Vet looks like it actually, it ran pretty close to where it was before. So ran a 534, ran a 517, and a 537 in qualifying. So great job, guys. Great race. Next up is going to be Neil Allen Bicek with Pure Hell running in the right lane. Car ran a 901 first pass. So it is going to be running on the 900. If it breaks out, it will still be moving on to the next round because it does not have an opponent. He's definitely going to want to slow it down for next round if that's the case.
Neil goes 9:17 with a 5.
Great pass. All right, guys, so that gets us down to our second round. So we are going to get the tires cleaned, get everything ready to go, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back for Group 4. This is going to be Group 4 of Top Eliminator. This is round number 2. We are going to start off with Gone Postal. Kevin Stocker going to be in the right lane this time. 500 index. He is going to be racing up against the 400 index of Darryl Maw out of Utah. This is going to be a close round. So both of these cars run pretty low in their index. It's almost like a final round, but for second round, here we go.
Kevin Stocker wins with a 5:01.8.
Wow, that thing ran right on the money. Darryl's car ran good too, but it just wasn't quite enough for that car. So that car is getting dangerously close to breaking out, but it's going round, so it doesn't matter. Next up, Kakalaki Crusader Cliff Ward, right lane, running in the 500 index. Viper funny car. Running up against Gramps Snake, Dana Morley out of Utah. Running in the 500 index, also with a Viper car. The pretty slick body on it, so great build. Shout out to Dana. It just wasn't enough.
Right lane wins, Cliff Ward with a 5:18.7.
Those guys are going to be in the semis. So next up, we got Ronald Mullins, right lane with a 1.3. Going to be running up against the White Knight, Stacy Brock, running that lethal 1-1. Car's been running low 1-1s all night.
Winner's going to be left lane. Stacy Brock goes 1:17.56.
Wow. Next up, we got Stuart Barber, Don Garlett's funny car, running 500 index, right lane. Make sure that we can get that in there. Get that car staged up against Pure Hell, running a 9.0 index. So 4/10 head start. Both these guys ran pretty low on their dial. So this could be a really good photo finish here. Let's see what we got.
Breakout, left lane.
Oh,
Winner, Stuart Barber, 5:26 with a 4.
wow. It broke out big time. All right, congrats to Stuart. You are in the semis. Tough break for Pure Hell. That car was getting faster and faster and faster. So we got Our final four, we got Gone Postal, Kevin Stalker running 500 index. We got Kakalaki Crusader, Cliff Ward out of North Carolina running 500 index. So that'll be a heads up run into the final. And then on this side of the ladder, we got Stacy Brock running the 1-1 index up against Stuart Barber in that 500 index. So somebody's going to the final. Actually, two people are. We're going to get these things cleaned up, ready to go, and we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. Final four time for Group 4 of Top Eliminator. So first up in the right lane, we got Gone Postal running 500 index. This is going to be a heads-up semifinal between Cliff Ward, Kakalaki Crusader, and Gone Postal, both running 500s. Who's going to run closer to 500? The race could be decided on the tree. Here we go.
Winner Kevin Stalker, 5077.
Man, that car just keeps running harder and harder. That is a great run. Good job, Kevin. That is 2 finals in a row for you. Great build. So next up in the right lane, we got the White Knight, Stacy Brock running 1-1 index up against the Don Garlett's Funny Car by Stuart Barber. This car was picking up speed also, so they're both running very low in their index. Both cars are staged. Pretty good stagger on this one. Let's see who gets it. Stuart drives around him.
Yep, Stuart wins it with a 526 with a 4.
Wow. Tough break for White Knight, but that gives us our final 2 cars, both black drag cars. We got Gone Postal in the left lane, or sorry, it'll be in the right lane, and we got Stuart Barber going to be in the left lane. Both going to be running on a 500, so we'll have a heads-up final. So let's get those tires cleaned. All right, guys, we are back. John's getting the computer set up. It's going to be a 500 heads-up index final. So right lane, Kevin Stalker. Can he go back-to-back? So he was in the final earlier. He's going to be running up against Stuart Barber in the left lane. Stuart's car will be back later for Top Fuel, so stick around if you want to see Top Fuel 4 gear. There's a lot of fast cars entered for that. Here we go.
Winner Kevin Stalker goes 503 with a 1.
Holy smokes, fastest pass for the last round. Kevin Stalker takes the win. Gone Postal goes the lowest that it went all day in the final. Saved the best for last. So we're going to get these cars over to the prize table. We'll get set up for the next round. Hopefully you guys are checking it out. Lots of racing action left. All right, guys, we're at the prize table for Group 4 Top Eliminator. We got Stuart Barber's runner-up and Kevin Stalker, our repeat winner, Gone Postal. So great job. We're going to draw his ticket first. So let's see what we got for Kevin. It looks like we got a setup block for him. So super cool prize donation by HC Slots, aluminum setup block. So that is a great prize right there. Quick shout out to all of our sponsors. We got HC Slots, Viper Scale Racing, Lucky Bob's. We got Radical Bodies, Super Tires, Jag Hobbies, Harry Canary Bodies, and also some cars donated by Mike Merrick. So shout out to Mike. Great job. Thank you. Let's get our prize for our next racer, which is going to be Stuart Barber, our runner-up. Looks like Stuart wins a Hot Wheel, number 44. So let's see, number 44. Pretty cool Hot Wheel. So there is Stuart Barber's prize. Another sponsor too to mention for our grand prize is going to be Difalco Design for a killer controller. So stick around for that at the end of all the videos. And then also AFX had come on board this time around. So they donated some cool prizes. So thank you guys. Last prize for Kevin Stalker. Looks like a Radical Body. So a Willys truck, which is going to be right here. So thank you for Radical Bodies for sponsoring that. And that is going to be our prizes for this one. So hopefully you guys are going to stick around and watch Group 5. We'll see you on the next one.